There were a few by-elections, but the hold of Lloyd George's wartime coalition on Britain was still strong. The revival of party politics was yet to come. What had worked in the war must work in the peace, many still thought. They weren't so happy, however, about the budget brought out by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Austen Chamberlain, smiling away at home with his family. But then he had enough to pay his wretched income tax. Peace with plenty couldn't get very far with spoil sports like him. Then there were the miners. As the Colonel said, instead of occupying themselves properly digging up coal for other working types to keep in their baths, the rebellious types decided to go on strike. The strike, like all strikes, was unpopular, especially when it was a case of scraping around everywhere to try and find something to put on the fire. Yes, an unpopular move, even with a few of the miners' wives. But being the time of female emancipation, ladies, too, were sometimes up in arms. Teashop waitresses came out in protest against unfair treatment of one of their number. There was a shortage of cups of tea as well as coal. But when it came to strikes, as always, it was the French who were the real masters. The limited service of a French rail strike produced scenes like this. Now complain about the 8:15. What happened when another train passed the other way? In the United States, disagreement with authority took a more violent form. Someone threw a bomb at the United States Treasury. There were quite a few killed, and Wall Street was strewn with wreckage. Even such a shrine as the office of J.P. Morgan didn't escape damage. They called in troops to ensure peace and security. But it was rather a case of putting the tin hat on it after the bomb had been thrown. Whoever was at the bottom of it, one thing was certain. The Bolsheviks, current term for communists, must go home. Back to Russia, deportations took place from a number of eastern ports. All such affairs were, of course, the concern of the president, Harding. Newly elected, Mr. Harding was going to clean up, but clean up without fundamental change. For Mr. Harding was a great exponent of the things as they used to be school of thought. For instance, all alcoholic drinks must be put back into their component chemical parts instead of down the human throat. This was called prohibition. What a drain on resources. And a very destructive time it was, too. Yes, there was more bottle opening with less drinking that year than you would have thought possible. That year, all the pink rats with straw hats were in the sewers and having one whale of a time. And if the drains couldn't hold all the stuff, put it into water wagons and spray the streets with it. That was prohibition. But if you wanted to drink and were smart, well, you could always find yourself a drink.